With our STEMFIE vehicle demo project open, we're going to now create a custom body for the mechanical base. And to do that, we're going to use the sketch tool. We're going to drag the sketch tool and put it on the top surface of the central body. Hold down the C key on the keyboard and then click and drag the sketch tool so that it's laying flat on that middle body piece. I don't want to create my body from the top. I want to create it from the side. So I'm going to click Finish Sketch. I'm going to rotate around to the right and tap the F key to focus in on the sketch tool. And I'm going to rotate it 90 degrees. So now I'll be sketching from a profile view. Now this is no longer flush with the top. To move it up, I'm first going to change the snap grid to 5 millimeters, and then on my keyboard, I'm going to hold down the Command key and use the up arrow once. Tap F and focus in. You can see that the bottom of the sketch tool is exactly aligned with the top of the middle body piece of the vehicle. I can also move it over a little bit so it's more toward the center. Now with that done, I can click Edit Sketch. And I'm going to change the snap grid back to 1, and I'll start drawing the outline of my vehicle. I want to start on the vertical line that's aligned with the top of the central body piece. So that's out here. Click and move up and out and up, over, down, like the front of the vehicle. And now the bottom line should be perfectly straight across, and we complete our shape. So you can see I've drawn a very simple pickup shape outline. Tap the F key to focus in on it. On the left-hand side, we'll click the Edit icon. Notice you can also tap the letter A on your keyboard as a shortcut. Now we have all the control points that we can change. So let's say I want to make the front of the truck rounded. Down below, I can change that point from a corner to smooth. And I can also use the number 2 to do that. Now that's bunching out more than I want, so I'm going to move that back in a little bit. And actually the whole front of the truck sticks out much further than I want. So I'm going to click that line and this line, holding down the Shift key. So I selected both of those, and now I can use the arrow keys to move that in so that that front section is more proportioned to the back one. Adjust this point. Okay, might want to make the cab a little different. Let's say I would like a rounded roof, but a straight windshield. Now if I click Smooth, I can move these handles, but they're going to move together. So I can't ever really get that windshield to be perfectly smooth. So I'll undo that. And instead what I'm going to do is make sure that point is selected, and then I'm going to click Brake Handles. Now these handles can move independently, and if I drag this handle all the way to the center, that retains the straight line there. And then I can just adjust the rest of the roof using the remaining handle. Once you get the shape the way you like it, click Finish Sketch, and we can take a look at our vehicle body. We'll look at it from the top. First thing I'm going to do is, with the sketch selected, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and select the bottom of the vehicle. And then I'm going to click Align, and I'm going to click the bottom of the vehicle again so that it will not move. And I'm going to center the sketch on the vehicle. Now I'll click off and I'll click back on so that just the body is selected. I don't want it this thin. I'd like it to actually overlap the tires a little bit. So what I'm going to do is click the middle measuring point, and I'm going to add 10 millimeters. So this will be 20. Now I'll click the bottom measuring point, and I'm going to add another 10 millimeters. That will be 30. Okay, so now the body is overlapping the tires a little bit. That's a problem because the body will interfere with the movement of the tires and the hub in the middle there. So we're going to want to add a wheel well. Look at it straight from the front. Once again, I'm going to hold down the C key, grab the sketch tool, and place it on top of the first sketch. To make sure that the two sketches are aligned, I'm going to click Finish Sketch. With the new sketch tool selected, I'm going to hold down the Shift key and click the initial sketch, click Align, click the first sketch so that it does not move, and then I'll click the Align tool so that the bottoms of both sketches are perfectly aligned. Now I'll click off both models, click the new sketch tool and click Edit Sketch. And I'll come in and I'm going to click on one side of the back wheel, try to get roughly in the middle of the wheel along the top. It doesn't matter because we're going to adjust that in a minute. And then back down the other side of the wheel so that it aligns with the first point. Click and then complete the sketch. Now I'll tap A to edit and I can move any of these points independently. The snap grid is set to 1. If you need more fine-grained control over how you move, you can reduce that size. And what I'm going to do is turn that top point to make it smooth, and then I'm going to pull the handles straight out to create a kind of semicircular shape here. Okay, it's not proportional, so I'm going to just scoot that over a little bit. Okay. You can also use Command A to select everything, and you can use the arrow keys to nudge it back and forth. So I can change that to 0.1, and I can just kind of nudge it until I get it just where I want. Once you're happy with the wheel well, click Finish Sketch. We'll look at it from the top. And of course, the sketch is on the outside of the truck body. We need it on the inside. First, I'm going to click just the truck and tap the T key to make it transparent. Then I'm going to click our new sketch and make it a hole. I know this is 10 millimeters thick, so I'm going to change my snap grid to 5 and use the up arrow key once, twice, and that should be aligned with the outside of the truck. Tap the F key to zoom in. So that's plenty of clearance there for the tire and all of the rotating parts. But I notice that the hole gets awfully close to the screw. That's just over 1 millimeter space there. I'd like there to be a little more space, so I'm going to click the top middle measuring square and change this dimension to, let's say, 9. Okay, so there's still plenty of overlap there. That's good, but there's much more space there, about 2 millimeters between the wheel well hole and the screw hole. So that's fine. Now I'm going to duplicate and use the arrow keys to move this up. While it's still selected, I'll hold down the Shift key and click on the body, click Align, click on the body again so it doesn't move, and click this Align Control so that that wheel well is perfectly aligned with that side of the truck body. Now I'm going to select the truck body and hide it by clicking the light bulb icon. Click on one of the wheel well holes, hold down the Shift key, click on the other one, click Duplicate, and I'm going to move it over. Click F to focus in. And I'm going to change the snap grid to 0.1 so that I can just nudge this into place. And you see that middle black square? I want that just about in the middle of the hole in the front of the body. That should align those wheel wells to the wheels themselves. You can always rotate and check to make sure everything's lined up. Okay, that looks good. Now I'll click the light bulb to show the body again. And I'll look at all of this from the front. And I'm going to click the base of the vehicle and hide that. And I'm going to click and drag so that just the body of the truck and the wheel wells are selected. Not the screw holes yet, just the wheel wells and the body of the truck. And I'll group those. So we're almost done. The bottom of the screw holes should be aligned with the bottom of the truck, but just to make sure, I'm going to select everything, click Align, click the body of the truck, and click this bottom Align tab here. It was already grayed out, indicating that they were aligned, but I just wanted to make absolutely sure. Now I can select everything and group. We can see the cutouts for the shoulder screws there. And if we tap the T key to make the truck solid again and rotate to look underneath, you can see the openings of the holes for the screws. Now we can click the light bulb to bring back the base and look at our finished product. All that remains now is to select just the vehicle body, click Export as an STL, allow download, and there's our file. In the next video, we'll look at slicing and printing the file.